So hi everyone, good evening all. Am I audible? Type yes or no message in the chat window. Am I audible, loud and clear? I don't know. Is it okay? Yes. So fine, I can get some messages. Great. Okay. So the problem was I just slept around 3 p.m. and then it was, okay, no issues. Right. So let me revise whatever we have done yesterday. I think it will be really very quick recap. So first of all, I'm just giving this file again, and if it is not working for you, let me know. So the same file you have to download again, delete the existing one, the one you had. Okay, and I'm just accessing my Kubernetes master node, and here in my Kubernetes master I'm just going to /var/www.html, and I'm opening admin.conf file, and I'm changing this. So delete the existing file and copy this one. Okay, so I'm just copying wget http://this/admin.conf. okay, it is now downloaded in my machine without any changes. Okay, you can download from there as well, right? You know that if you don't want to use wget in Windows or some machine, you can just download from your browser also .conf. okay, see, when you are downloading it, make sure the IP address is right here. You don't have to change anything, just download this, save as, and whenever you download it, now you try to connect by get nodes --cube config admin.conf. without making any changes. You must be able to, all people must be able to do that. This is final testing, because tomorrow you will be getting an email address about this admin.com. You don't have to use this file for tomorrow exam. You all will be getting your own admin.conf file. Okay, this is just for testing. Alright, so just try and let me know, and download without making any changes. Okay, and let me know, is it working or not. So download and check, and then type yes or no message. Yes for if you are able to connect, and no if you are not able to connect. Alright, So working, connected, and please make sure you are able to connect. You don't have to make any changes, that is very clear, so that tomorrow you'll be getting email address right. So I can see few yes messages. Okay, so I think it's working fine. All right, now I'm starting this session because I have to cover a lot of things. So anyway, now I think you might having a quite good feeling about Docker first. Okay, so the journey we started in the world of DevOps, we as an engineer, we always has to take a code and integrate with the Docker file, and by integrating this we have to make effort to create a Docker image. Okay, and Docker image must be kept on a very secure and worldwide accessible place, so anybody can download that one. Okay, so I think I need to cross check my again charging point anyway, but this must be very much clear that you have to create a Docker image for your code, and after that this image must be uploaded on any of the location like Docker Hub. Okay, now if this is uploaded like Docker Hub or GCR or Azure Container Registry or QUAI, right, so a couple of registry are there, then any other deployment tools they can use it without any problem. Fine. So simply creation of Docker images is not a problem, and this will be the base question in your Kubernetes examination. Okay, that means this question will be primary, because if you're not able to perform this question, that will be question number first. Okay, Docker image creation from Docker file, even the multi-application image. Then there are so many tools where this Docker image can be deployed. Okay, so deploy means now you want to make your website testing or application testing, or you want to make it live for worldwide. So to deploy we have couple of options, like we have Docker Swarm, right, we have Rancher, and we have Kubernetes, and we have OpenShift container platform, right. So Docker Swarm, Rancher, Kubernetes, OpenShift, and many more. Okay, but out of these big list, we are talking about Kubernetes, and Kubernetes is one of the premium product in IT industry as of now. Okay, so anyway, if you wanna compare these products, you can compare it, you can read about them on Google, but we started with Kubernetes. Okay, so once Docker image is stored on any of the registry like Docker Hub, like QUAI, like GCR, or any places. Okay, then from here Kubernetes master or Kubernetes minion can connect by couple of ways. Okay, master always need to be connected by a client, and client machine can be used as Windows, Linux, or Mac, but you need to install this software on the client machine. Then you need to download some authentication file. In my case, the file name is admin.conf, and this admin.conf is directly connecting to Kube API server, and then everything is happening as it is. Okay, that you know how the flow is going on. Okay, now if we have Docker image available any of the place like this, then to deploy a containerized application in the world of Kubernetes, we as a administrator, we started our journey with the pod. Okay, we have seen a couple of examples in pod, how we can create pod file, dry run, and many more things. Then to access this pod, we moved to a new API resources called services. Okay, we know that pod has many problems, that pod cannot be scaled automatically, or if the pod goes down it cannot come up automatically. So the better way we found to deploy your application is a replication controller. Okay, so let me tell you one thing, replication controller is also a component in the Kubernetes master, but replication controller is also an API resource in Kubernetes. So don't be confused that this replication controller and this replication controller, they both are same. No, they both are not same. Okay, so that replication controller means it can support any container scaling technology, but this is just a type like a pod. Okay, so service is entirely different thing that we created, and we are moving from pod to replication controller, and I believe we have learned a lot. That means yes, how we can write a replication controller file, and I believe I have also uploaded that data on my GitHub account about replication controller. You can cross check on my GitHub repo. Yes, that is there. Okay, so if till now everything is okay, very much okay, and understanding, I mean you're able to understand it, then say yes in the chat window so that we can talk about what we are going to learn today. Right, so just waiting for your response, and so for Harsh it's all right. Yes, it is very much rhythm, Harsh. Okay, fine. So I'm okay, getting response positively. That means yes, it's very much easy to understand. All right, now let me just show you that file, the one, my first replication controller I got created. Okay, so see right here. Okay, now the replicas we have deployed. So as of now, if I have anything at nodes, yes, and I'm deleting every single thing whatever I deployed yesterday, so that we can deploy it very fresh. Okay, so this command will delete everything, means it will delete pod, it will delete replication controller, it will delete services, whatever we have. See, now if I'll show you kubectl get pods, it is in the terminating state and we don't have anything as of now. Okay, no worries. So now I'm going to just deploy this. This time I'll make my replica as a 2. That means how many pods I want 2 pods. Okay, Now you can understand first of all why we need two pods. So for example, we have Kubernetes master and we have Kubernetes minions. There are three minions are there and they all are connected. Okay, so as a normal web application developer, you deployed your application on the Kubernetes and this is your pod that is running. Okay, so your pod is running. Okay, so what is happening when you create your pod? You have to create a service and that service will be exposed to your Kubernetes cluster by node port or load balancer. Now these are people who are accessing by hitting this any of the IP and some port number. Okay, so this is working very fine as of now. But if sometime you feel like your website is pretty slow because the number of accessors or number of users are increasing day by day. So for example, there is a formula. A pod, let's say a pod cannot handle 30,000 requests per second. That means the web application that you deployed on the worker node, it can serve 30,000 users per second. Okay, what if suddenly you are achieving or you are receiving more than 30,000 traffic, so your website gets a lot of popularity. Now this 30,000 will become 50,000 per second. 50,000 users per second are visiting your website. So definitely your website will be down and slow. It will not respond that well. So by a Kubernetes engineer, you have to understand that scenario and you have to deploy another pod from the same Docker image. Okay, and make sure you are having the same label for both of the pod, so there will be no problem because service will be redirecting traffic to the multiple pod. It doesn't matter the service is of node port type or it is a load balancer type. Okay, either it is node port or load balancer, both service can distribute the number of connection to different pods having same label. Okay, so that simply means it is going to distribute there. So that's why I'm planning two replicas initially. Okay, because maybe I really understand that yes, I'm getting a lot of traffic these days, so this is my planning. Okay, so always planning is something, if one pod goes down even due to any reason, at least I have another one. Okay, so I'm just saving it and kubectl create -f my first replication controller. Yes, it got created. I can check it by replication controller by writing this complete big name, or I can just also write RC replication controller. I can check the pods created by these. Yes, two pods are there, so they are just creating some random names. And if I'll show you -- show labels, x is equals to hello app, and that is very similar to the one that I have given here under my metadata section. So this is my label of pod, and that is having by both the. So it's very easy, very simple, that yes, I have these pods running. Definitely. Now to access this, like we can expose either pod or replication controller to create a service. Okay, so I can either expose pod or replication controller to create this in a service. So what I'll do, I'll use kubectl expose replication controller, and replication controller name is this -- type node port, then -- port 80. Okay, so I'm just checking it again, get svc, and yes, I'm getting 30183 port number as a node port, 30183. Now 30183 I can just write here along with my master or minion IP 30183. Yes, I am getting my web page. Okay, and it's pretty working fine. Now the traffic that I'm sending, it may go to any of the pod, either one by one or parallel, it doesn't matter, right? If I want to show you one more thing, that exactly these pods are running on a same worker node. Okay, it doesn't matter actually, it can be randomly go to different nodes, although as of now both the pods are running on the same worker node. Okay, so it's a very luck by chance, right? Luck, very by chance thing, because both are running on the same worker node, but they can run on a different node as well. Okay, now let's say one more thing that I want to tell you is, for example, my two pods are running by replication controller. Okay, if I feel after 3 months that even the two pods are not very much enough to handle that much traffic, I need to deploy one more pod. Okay, I need to deploy one more pod. So what we can do, we can automate, we can scale, or we can create another pod on a running live application. So that means increasing number of pod by Replica Set or Replication Controller, we call it scaling, right? We call it scaling. So scaling means if the number of pod we decided 2 in the beginning of replication controller creation time, and now we need more, so we can scale number of pod after deploying, and there are a number of ways to do that. Okay, so to scale we have, let's say, let me try first by using file. Okay, make sure scaling means we are not going to delete or recreate these, we are going to add one more. So let me try it by file. It was working in the previous version, but as of now I have to check. So what I can do is, like, I can just go there and change number to 3, and then I can use kubectl apply -f, and if I do that, most probably get RCC. Now it got configured. So what apply is doing, apply is making some changes in the existing YML. See, because we have changed nothing except the count, so here create is not going to work because create is creating everything, but apply is making some changes. So method number 1 is also working as of now by using apply command. So apply is generally when anything is changeable, and that you can apply here. And I can check by get pods. I get another pod 40 seconds ago, and if I'll check void, yes, it got scheduled in another worker node. So the first two pods are running in worker node 1 and 1, I mean in a single node, and second pod got scheduled over there. Okay, it's one of the best practice to have your pod on a different node. Okay, fine. So I hope the first method will be very much okay and clear. So say yes for first method in the chat window. I think it's quite easy, but still I'm looking for a response so that I can make it we can use Anandita, it's not a problem, we can use. Yes Harsh, we can do. We can schedule pod manually as well. Apply can always be used anywhere, even in the creation time. Okay, so the best way to use apply always. Okay, fine. Now the second method that is very official, by using scale command. Okay, this is very official method. So for example, if I have kubectl get replication controller, now 3 replicas are desired, 3 are current, and all 3 are in ready condition. Okay, now what I can do is kubectl scale replication controller and the name of replication controller, and then -- replica is equals to 5. It will add 2 more replica because it will check the current, and if I'll hit enter, yes, now number of desired 5, ready 4, and it will be become 5, yes. And if I'll check by get pods, you can check here this 12 seconds ago these 2 pods got added. 12 seconds, you can just check the difference by the time. Yes, 12 seconds ago, and I can show you this -void option. See, now the another pod is running on a different worker node, and these is scenario. See, now 5 pods means 2, 2 and 1. Okay, now every worker node has a pod. So it is the best example. Even if any of the worker node goes down, you still have your pod running anywhere else. Okay, so this is very easy and very amazing method, and this is generally officially used by Kubernetes engineer to, just because what, you never know, either you have file or not. Maybe some other developer created that file and they deployed from their own host, and now you have to scale it. So if you don't have file, what do you do? So you use scale method. Okay, so second method I think is also very much amazing, because we don't need file to scale this application up. So I think second method will also be fine. I don't need to ask still. Okay, the third is not recommended, but it's also working. Okay, when you don't remember this command, when you don't have this file, it's not recommended, but you can also scale up or down. Fine. So what you have to do is, on the real-time running a replication controller, you have to check the replication controller name first. Okay, you know what, when you create any of the Kubernetes API resource, this is nothing, this is a YML. Okay, and what you can do is you can edit this YML replication controller. So what is going to happen, it is gonna open the real YML that is running on the master and minion node. It will give you this YML. Just come down a bit and very much see, and here who made it 20? Oh god, somebody did that, right? That's why I was, anyway, somebody made it 20, so I can now edit it, and by just going there, I'm just gonna change it to, let's say, 3 or maybe 7. Okay, I'm just changing 7 on the real time running my one. See, now if you see, look at the speed from 20 to 7, and if you check here, get pods, we have in the terminating state, and now only 7 are running. Okay, so definitely this is the third method, but it is not recommended. So but I just tell you, this is unofficial method, but now you understand all 3 methods for auto scaling. So if you are all okay with all 3 methods for scaling pod, okay, if you want to scale pod, definitely you have to use replication controller. Alright, so say yes or no in the chat window that yeah, you are very much comfortable with this method. Okay, fine. All right. Yeah. So that is not maintained by replication controller as of now. Okay. We'll talk about that. But okay, great. So you know what is the reality? So if you think you learned replication controller and you are happy, ting ting, if you are happy, then it's time to say goodbye to replication controller. You know what? Replication controller is a very old technology. Nobody using replication controller. We are using a new technology or new API resource. We call it Replica Set. Okay, so maximum people are using a Replica Set to deploy your pod. Now Replica Set and replication controller, you can assume very much same as of now, very much same. There is no difference. So but there is some additional changes that Kubernetes did. So this difference you have to figure out. It's a kind of your assignment, right? What exactly the difference between Replica Set and replication controller? So we are going to use Replica Set. Okay, and what is the difference? Technically you need to understand, and then you have to tell me by messaging me or by calling me or by any way. Fine, so you can tell me that. Okay, now how we create a replica sets. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create a directory called replica set rs, and I'm going to copy this file to here by the name of my replica set.yml. okay, because there is, as such, technically there is no difference. Fine, but the version or API version of replica set is entirely different. It is apps slash v1. You don't have to remember this one, because you know what, how we can figure out kubectl explain rs. Fine. And in the beginning of the file you can check here, okay, apps v1. And definitely I have to use a different name, my replica set 1, and here I'm going to use rs, and I'm going to use my pod rs22, and I'm going to use hello rs. I'm just making a difference, and here Ashutoshh rs container. Okay, so everything is okay, you know, so everything is very much similar. And definitely kind will be replica set cts sets. Okay, I can check the, so s and r are capital, replica set. One more thing I have to introduce here under specification. Okay, like we have template, we have replica factor, we have to introduce one more keyword, and we call it selector. Okay, now under selector there is one more keyword, that is match label, right? It's a match labels, and here I'm gonna write the same label like app colon rs web1. Okay, so exactly the same label, or not rs web1, I mean that label, the one that is x is equals to hello rs, this label of your pod. So here also label of pod. Okay, so the best idea is, if you know how to write replication controller, the same way you can just change few things. What is the difference and what this thing got added, that you have to figure out. Rest everything is fine, and I'm gonna just use apply -f. Fine. Okay, it's not replica sets, it's only replica set. Yes, it got created. Now you can check kubectl get replica sets, or you can always type rs, and you can also expose replica set as well by -type load balancer or node port, both are fine, and 80. Now I'm getting this service where my 30280, so 30280, yes. So as of now I'm able to understand. So everything, almost everything is same except few changes, okay, that you have to figure out. So I mean, if you are very much okay and comfortable with replica set, then you can say okay or yes message in the chat window, right? Page, you don't have to understand the difference between v1 and apps v1. It's just API version, but first try to understand replica set and replication controller difference by your own. If you get the answer, it's good. Rest I'll let you know, and I'll tell everybody, right? So need a response very quickly from everyone. Okay, great. So as of now we are good to go with this replica set. Fine. So the difference, and please don't take it lightly, you can figure out. Yeah, we can use node port or load balancer. As of now, as I told you, till the time I'm not telling any difference, you can assume load balancer and node port as very much same. So wherever you are using this, you can also use this. Both are same as of now, till the time I am not telling you the difference. Okay, so you can use this with anything, with pod, with replica set, with replication controller, and all. Right. So these three things also very much understood. Okay, and okay, now I'm going to add a very important topic that is important for examination, and definitely it's very important for real world as well. Okay, now you have to give me the answer of that question first. For example, in the world of Docker, if you talk about Docker as of now, and this is your Docker image, and from this Docker image you are going to create a container. Okay, and you are making some changes in the running container. Okay, making some change in the running container, and if by any chance you deleted that container, you destroyed that container, once you destroy that container, what is going to happen? It is going to destroy the container and the changes or the data that was generated on the real time. So that's why we discussed about that container are always non-persistent, okay, in nature, or we are also calling it ephemeral, right? They are ephemeral in nature. So what solution we applied to save the data? What was the solution in the world of Docker, so that even if you delete the container, the data must not be destroyed? So the answer you have to give in the chat window by writing. Okay, solution that we applied. Okay, so I get it, 1. And please other people be honest, right? And don't copy the answer from chat window. It is good if you have remember that fact. Yes, I get 2 correct answers from the same college people. Alright, the right answer is volume or persistent volume. Okay, so or we can say Docker volume. Wonderful. So if you all are giving answer by your own, it's really amazing. Solution was volume. Okay, so we used to use a volume, and the volume, what was the volume? It was some folder or some location on the Docker engine itself, and that we can attach to this. Okay, so the same way, if we delete the pod, the same thing is going to happen, right? Data will be destroyed. So you always have to remember that yes, every time you create a pod or replication controller or replica set, you have to give a volume. So here we are calling it Kubernetes volumes. Okay, so our next topic, and that is very important for real world and also very important for tomorrow exam. Okay, important for real world and very important for tomorrow exam as well, right? So, and we can attach with pod, with replica set and replication controller. Anyway, let me delete everything. You know that because pod is not created by us directly, so even if I try to delete any pod like this, whatever the component will be, it will recreate that pod to maintain the count. See, just 8 seconds ago it got created. So you can never delete the pod. If you delete it, your replication controller or replica set will recreate that pod. Okay, so how you can delete them? You can just get RC and RS. Yes, now I can delete RC and by the name. If I delete my replica set and replication controller, then they will delete the pod automatically. Now the pod are in terminating state. Okay, so definitely you can delete them like this. Fine, so nothing to worry, it's just a very easy method. Alright, so now we are going to talk about Kubernetes volumes. See, the difference you have to understand first. Normally if you talk about Docker volume, right, Docker volume was always present in the Docker engine itself. That means if this is your OS, so either some location or some volume or some folder on the Docker engine, it was just mounted under running container here. Okay, but Kubernetes is not exactly same as Docker. Okay, that means if this is my minion and minion, this is my master. Okay, a volume can be a part of any of the worker node, definitely, but in general it is recommended to create an external storage outside Kubernetes. And now Kubernetes cluster, by using this volume concept, they can take a particular piece or part of this storage and they can mount it to the running pod, or we can plan it to mount there. Okay, so it can be from these worker nodes as well, but they can be from outside. So that means Kubernetes volume has a lot of category, right? So if you want to mount the location or some local data like a worker node 1, if your pod got scheduled here and you want to mount, let's say /var folder to your pod locally, so the category that you can use is host path. Okay, so host path is a kind of volume in Kubernetes that you can use to mount the location where the pod is running in any of the worker node. So if it is running here, it can mount some data from this pod to that, from the node to the container. So this kind of category of Kubernetes volume, we call it host path. Okay, So are you able to understand that? We have a lot of category, and I am very much sure that you are able to understand what exactly host path Kubernetes volume is. Okay, so let me know by writing your response in the chat window that yes, everybody, you are able to understand host path. Alright, I can see 2 messages only. Okay, yes, so it's very much understood. Fine. Apart from host path, we have couple of more. Let's say emptydir. Okay, emptydir is not for persistent storage. It is a very random, or I can say temporary, but fast. You know what, every time we are creating volume, the purpose is not to only store data persistently. The purpose is also, let's say you want a fast storage, so this volume will be available till the time your pod is running. For example, if you are testing your Java code or Python code, and that code need good storage speed, good hard disk speed. Okay, once you're done with the testing, your pod will be deleted and you really don't want to keep that data. So when you want temporary but fast storage, then you can use emptydir. Okay, and why we are using emptydir? Because pod, or I can say container storage, is not that much fast. So we are creating some random folder in any of the worker node and we are using it as a storage. So not RAM, but some storage location under temporary folder of worker nodes. Because you know what, container has so many layers. Okay, it has slow storage. So we can give any folder randomly in the worker node to perform the operation. Then once you delete the pod, the folder will be deleted. Just for fine. So is it also very much comfortable? The second type of volume, like emptydir, is just for testing purpose. The purpose is not to store data persistently, although the purpose is to give a fast storage in case of some testing of your application, or where the hard disk use is more going to matter. Okay, say yes or no in the chat window. So I got one yes message by Rhythm. Alright, great. And these two are very much important. Yes Harsh, it works without mounting, but it's about the fast storage, because container storage is really slow. So emptydir type of volume will create some random folder on the worker node, and these folder will be mounted directly rather than using container storage, because container got created by couple of abstraction layer from a Docker image. Okay, that's why you can use emptydir. Okay, but the both type of storage are associated with the worker node, where exactly the pod is getting scheduled. Okay. Yes, Ashif. Yeah. Okay. So this is one of the case. Now, what other kind of volumes are? So let's say if this is your Kubernetes cluster, okay, and this is your Amazon cloud, okay, your cluster is running somewhere else in any other location and you are administrator of that. So your Amazon cloud is providing EBS. So Kubernetes volume also support cloud based storage, so it can take EBS volume and attach to a pod. Or if you have Azure cloud, if you have Google cloud, so any of the cloud you have, you can use these storage as a volume to attach. So you are processing your application here, but data is getting saved there, because you know that cloud has the most largest or the most huge amount of storage pools. So even if your Kubernetes is running in your laptop, you can save your data of pod in Amazon cloud or Azure or Google cloud, right? Or there are some more big popular protocol like network file system, like cluster file system. These are not cloud based, but these are very popular protocol, GFS, or one more like CEPH, one more like Sender. There are so many storage protocols are there in the market. So CEPH, Sender, GFS, NFS. You can also use these non-cloud based remote protocol to attach under pods. And pod can have multiple volume. It can have from there, and anyway. Okay. So we have so many categories. Okay. By the way, you can check the list about the Kubernetes volumes from this doc. So that is Kubernetes volumes. Never follow any other website except kubernetes.io. You will get most latest, more updated information about. Okay, so the best way to learn Kubernetes is kubernetes.io/docs. You get there and you will be having very wonderful, amazing and well managed website by Google. And here you can just learn task, concept, tutorials, references, contribute if you want to contribute, okay, and many more things. So here I'm using Kubernetes volume that I just type on Google. Okay, anyway, if you see here the path is written under doc, concept, storage, volumes. Okay, see now the volume types, see AWS, Azure, Ceph, Sender, config map, CSI, emptydir, FC, fixed volume, Flocker. Even you can use Git repo. That is not working now, but in the earlier time you can also use your Git repo. So cluster, hostpath, iSCSI, local, NFS, and many more things. See, the list is very big. So I'm basically focusing on two things, emptydir and hostpath as of now. Then I'll give you some more examples, but for those examples you have to be very much aware about these protocols and these storage types. Yes, rhythm. Single volume will be connected to multiple pods. Like in case of Replica Set or Replication Controller, the same volume will be connected from different pods. Okay. So now we are going to use volume example with pod. Then we are going to use Replication Controller or Replica Set example with volume. Although both are having very much same syntax. Okay, so if you all are very much okay with the concept of Kubernetes volume, I need a prompt response here in the chat window with yes message or cool message or yes you are comfortable enough, so that I can just move to the demonstration part. Okay, great. It's very much okay, so quick response, great. Now again, as per my opinion, you don't have to remember anything, okay, or kind of never ratify kind of thing. So now I'm gonna use a volumes folder in my git repo, and I'm gonna use this one here. See, it's very easy. First of all, I'm gonna use kubectl run Ashutoshh 1, and the image I'm gonna use is docker Ashutoshh /CKAD version 2 -- port 80, and then -dry run -OYML, or I can use JSON as well, fine, but JSON will be not the recommended way, although, but yeah, we can use, fine. And I'm gonna use emptydir vol.yml. In this example, I'm gonna maybe use that one, okay, or let me just create another one. So kubectl run lpod -image alpine, and then -dry run -OYML, okay, and emp vol1.yml, fine. And I'm gonna open that. See, this is my label. I'm having a comment habit of pod. You know what, you can give more than one label as well. Let's say if you think someone else also using this label, so to make it unique you can have multiple labels. So pod can have more than one label to make this unique. Okay, so maybe in some cases the same label used by any other application, so you can have a combination, two labels, right? Key value, anyway. And okay, now I'm gonna use here first command, because definitely I have to make something that can keep this pod running. And here I'm gonna use date command, okay. So while true, do date, and I'm gonna store this data under mnt data or output.txt. Then I'm gonna use sleep 2 seconds and then done. Okay, I don't know whether this is correct or not, but let me check it. So if I use while true, it's just a shell script in Linux, and I'll use like a date, this sign, mnt data output.txt, sleep 2, and done. Okay, so if I use this, I will just want to make it while true, then colon date, then again colon, yes, sleep and done. Oh my god, how intelligent I am. Very good. Okay, see, so right here what I'm doing is I'm running date command in every 2 seconds. This is infinite while loop, and storing the output of date command, like output of date command, this one, in this file under emptydir. Okay, alright. Now where is emptydir? So I want to attach a volume and want to mount here. So first of all, in the Kubernetes you should create a volume first, very similar to Docker, and then attach, or I can say mount. Okay, so these two options you can define in the pod file itself. So what I'm going to do is, under the specification, directly under volumes is a keyword. Okay, like containers has a keyword on the spec, volume is keyword, and just writing here, this is for creating volume of any type. Okay, see, again a practice. If you don't want to make a space here, you can start writing like this with containers, with anything. Space is a good habit, but if you want to start like very much from the just beginning of the line, you can use this, then a space and name, Ashutoshh wall 111. So this is the name of volume. Okay, now I have to decide the type of volume. That means out of this big list, which kind of volume I can use. Okay, for kind information, tomorrow in the examination you can use this documentation for cheating purpose, right? In case you want to cheat, then you can use this document. Okay, I don't have any problem because I have enough number of questions in 3 hours. Fine. So now I'm going to use emptydir type volume. You have to write this curly braces because it will create a temporary and random folder in the worker node. Okay, and if you delete the pod, it will be deleted. Okay, it will be deleted. Fine. So the first section is creating a volume. Now definitely if you're creating this volume, we have to mount it under this container. So what I'm going to use, anywhere under container section we have a volume mounts keyword. Like we have image, we have name, we have command. So we have a volume mounts keyword. Under volume mounts, what you can do is, again, you can give a space, or you don't want to, don't give, it's up to you. First of all, you have to write the name of volume you want to mount, and this volume will be same as the one you created. So I'm just copying this and pasting it back here. So this volume got created above, or in above section. Okay, now the next keyword is mount path. So in the container that was created by Alpine image, where you want to mount. So definitely see, I store data of date command output under mnt data. So I'm gonna use this as a mount point. So this folder will be created automatically for mounting purpose. Okay, right? So I hope it will be very much clear. Always write this volumes keyword. Okay, you can also take help from the command line like kubectl explain pod.spec and use this. See, so the spec has couple of folders, couple of options. We used containers. If you go down a bit, you'll be having volume keyword in the v for volume. Where is v? Yes, volumes. Okay, and that was in the symmetry of this. So I wrote like that only. Okay, see, this is for creating purpose, and this section you can write this volume mounts keyword even after command, but just to be a logical person, I'm first creating this mount point and then I'm using the same to store the output of date command here. Okay, so before deploying it, let me know, are you guys are very much comfortable with the explanation part, because it's really very important. Okay, if you work too much with Kubernetes, you don't have to copy these definition or these examples or the keyword from Google. It's all about practice. Okay, so this and this. Alright, so respond here in the chat window. I can get few messages. Alright, fine. So if I now deploy my pod like this, I'll check get pods. Yes, it is running, and running without any problem in the sum of the worker node. Okay, both volume name will be same. I am not getting Tej. Both, we have only one volume, right? So where is the both volume? We have only one volume. This volume section created, I think you can read the comment. Volumes has a section called name. It is for creating volume. So this section means we are creating a volume of emptydir type. And when the volume got created, under container sections we have a keyword like volume mount. By using volume mount, we can mount this volume, the one that we created there. And how we mount? We have to write the name of volume. This name must be the same, because the one we created in the above section, we will be using the same here. And the path where we want to mount under container. Yes, definitely. I mean, if you're creating this volume, you have to use the same name here, because otherwise container will try to find that volume. So container is finding that volume, and that volume got created here. So for Ashutoshh and Tej, I think now it will be more clear. It's very easy syntax, right? So this is for creating and this is for mounting. Okay, wonderful. So now I know that the pod is running very much here. Okay, And if I want to check either my pod is storing output over there or not, what I can do, I can go to that pod by exec it and the pod name and sh. Okay, see, now I'm logged in the pod, very much similar to docker exec. I can check here, I have this mnt folder, and if I go to mnt folder, I can check, wow, data folder is also there. And if I check, oh, output.txt got created, and yes, so we have a lot of, because it is running in every 2 seconds. So the last time it was 51. If I cut it again, see, 51 to this. So this file is, you know, getting created like that. Fine. So I'm just exiting from this pod. Now I'm here. Okay, so it's very much easy. And if everything is okay for emptydir, this is the very simple way, right? I mean, you have nothing except this in emptydir. You can create a volume and then mount it under container. Fine. All right, so it will be very much easy to understand. So thumbs up for this volume type. If it is all okay, then I have to cover one more, that is host path. Fine. So if it's all right for emptydir, just say yes in the chat window, so that we can start with the another one, that is host path. Okay, so for rhythm it's pretty much okay. All good for Harsh and couple of more people. Okay, wonderful. So now what you have to do is, host path means, now you're getting it, anything that is present on the worker node, you can use this as a volume, okay, to mount that data in a pod. Okay, so this is your worker node. 1, 2, 3. So Santosh, why they are not visible? Are you not attending the session, or you have not updated your email address? If not, then it will not be. So connect with Harsh and Piyush. You can connect with Santosh and check either he is present or not on those email address list. Then we'll check. Okay, all right. So what is the meaning of host path? Means anything that is present on the worker nodes you can use to mount under the pod. Now what can be anything? See, it can be that means host path, it's supporting a directory, because you know what, a directory can be present in the worker node. It can also support file, like there is some file you want to mount under pod, and definitely socket. Okay, socket means, let's say you want to mount Docker socket, because you know that Docker engine is also running everywhere. So what is the socket location of Docker engine? Can anybody tell me without googling? what was the socket file of Docker engine. So you can type your comment in the chat window, the name of socket file, complete path that is present in Docker engine. What was that exactly name, without googling it, right? That we used in portainer container to mount. If you remember, we used in a portainer container. Wonderful. That is where run docker.sock. Fine. So two correct answers. That was where run docker.sock. Maybe any other socket file can also be there, but so host path can mount directory, file or socket file that is there in the any of the worker node. Okay, let's see another example. Okay, before checking the example, if I want to copy this replica set data in volume folder, okay, with emprs.yml, in case, so where you write this thing emp replica set, it's very easy. Same under specification of this, okay, you're going to create volumes, then same as, right, name x1 emptydir, and similarly you can use volume mounts, and here also name x1 and mount path. Okay, so this will be created. So under this template, under spec, this and this, so it will be very much same. Okay, fine. So I hope it will not be a problem for, I'm just writing it up, not creating it, I'm just writing it here so that you can use it later on. No, rhythm, it cannot be. So the scope of volume, let me write it down for you. So one more thing I'm writing here is scope of volume is local pod. You cannot mount this volume in a different pod, so you have to mount here only. The scope of volume is not global, it's local. Okay, so that section we have in upcoming days, but it's very much local. We cannot mount in another pod this volume. Okay, fine. I hope it will be clear. Alright, so now time for host path. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just copy this emp wall, or let me just rename this emptydir wall to web pod. I mean host path dir wall.yml. Okay, the same one, see, and that is my label. The image name is this, that is running here, or maybe I can use nginx image. Fine. Yukta, did you miss something? Anything means any data that is present on the worker node. See, if it is a file, directory or socket that is on any of the worker node, so this thing can be mounted in pod. So maybe you just joined right now, or you missed it? See, anything means this, anything, this or this. So say yes or no in the chat window, Yukta. Anything means whatever present the data in the worker node. Okay, so this is okay. Now I'm using Nginx web server image here, and let's create volume again, and here I'm going to use name, let's say Ashu wall 11. Alright, and then here I'm going to use host path. Make sure you're not doing any typo because it's a P capital with host path. Okay, what you can do is in the Kubernetes volume section, if you go there and you click on host path, you'll get this example. The host path can be any of this device type, and you can write this host path and type. Okay, so I'm gonna use path. Let's say I want to mount a file called etc passwd. This is a file in any Linux based OS where all user names are stored. Okay, and it will create volume in the on the scheduled minion. I have to mention the type also. Type means either this path is a file or directory. So as of now it's a file with F capital. So above path is file. Okay, if it was only directory like this, it was only directory, so passwd. Okay, you can create another volume as well. So what I'm going to do is 1 2 3 4 lines I'm going to copy. If you want to create more than one volume, definitely you have to give another name. Let's say I want to just USR share applications. I think it's the same, USR share applications. Yes, so I want to create another volume, and this is definitely a directory type. Okay, now it's optional, right? If you want to create more than one volume, this, and let's say you want to create another volume, let's say wall 33, and this time you want to use like var run docker.sock. So here the type will be socket. Okay, I'm not making it complex. Make sure you're not getting confused or something. I'm really not making it complex. I'm just showing you can create more than one volume in the volume section, and you can mount any one or all the volumes in a container. Okay, so USR share applications volume 1, volume 2. I'm just giving a space so that it will not be any much confusing in C. So under volumes, wall 1, wall 2, wall 3 got created, and then we are mounting it same way. Let's say I'm just volume mounts. So this section will be always common, only this will be changing. Again we have to give the name of volume which I want to mount. Let's say I want to mount the first volume. Okay, this is a file, so vol11. Okay, now the mount path is definitely I want to mount like a document root of this by the name of this. Make sure if you are using file to create a volume, you have to mount in a file. Okay, mounting in a file. If you are creating a directory as a volume, then in this case you don't have to write this file name, you just have to write only this information. So file must be mounted in a file, directory in directory, socket in socket. So that means if you have created directory, you have to mount in a directory, file then in a file, socket then in a socket. Okay, so if you see this file without the knowledge of Kubernetes, you think what the hell is going on here. Okay, I mean, just show this file to some of your friends who don't know anything about Kubernetes. He will think, oh no, I'm not going to learn that technology. But if you are understanding it right, then it's really quite simple and complex. I mean, simple and easy. Yes, host path is persistent. That means if you delete this pod, this data is persistent, because whatever you will be changing, it will be going there, so you don't have to worry about. Okay, so this is persistent. Right, so okay or yes or thumbs up or this method for chat window. I mean, I really want to understand your inputs also if you have something. Otherwise just say yes in the chat window that yeah, you are very much comfortable. Okay, fine. I can see 2 messages. Alright, few more. Okay, for kind information I can tell you, whatever we are learning, this thing, this is all your exams. So replication controller, replica set, docker file and volumes of this, everything is in the examination. So I think you have to practice for 4 to 5 hours today, and tomorrow 3 hours as well. That is 8 hours to, you know, and if you're not able to crack this, don't worry, you won't be able to, you know, generally attempt all the questions, because all the maximum pods are dependent on the docker file. Okay, go green. So let's apply or create. Hopefully yes, it got created. This volume is running. Okay, and if I'll just expose it, this pod, and the type is load balancer or not port. So vector get PO, get SVC. Which one is load balancer for this? Okay, 30683, 30683. So 30683, 0683. Yes, so So now that file got mounted as a index.html and we are getting the output of that data. Okay, so this is the file of host path volume. Fine, you can delete these one because these are just unnecessarily got created. Alright, so final say cool message if you all are okay, for all okay or good, and then I'll just make you understand that task that I'll create there in the PDF, and then we'll wrap it up. So I'm gonna reply there in the chat window, yes, it's all right, all okay, all cool. Cool hai, okay, that is wonderful. Fine. So today's session was very important in terms of deploying your real world application in the container or in terms of pod. Alright, now about this assignment. So I'm just giving you the brief about it, okay, so that in your free time it's not mandatory to do this assignment before the exam. So let's say we have exam tomorrow, right? So today is Tuesday. Let me open my calendar. So today is Tuesday, tomorrow is Wednesday. You have to submit this assignment max by Friday, not after that. So you have tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow to day after tomorrow. So max by 22. You can submit today also, tomorrow also, day after tomorrow also, but by 22 you have to submit this assignment. And how you have to submit? You have to submit in two places. First, by commenting in this video, the last video that we had about the services, and this, okay, this one, day 26. So here you have to submit, okay, and by uploading solution on GitHub you have to comment the GitHub link in this one, and I'll make a post tonight on my LinkedIn. So I'll make a post tonight on my LinkedIn. So the same GitHub URL you have to comment here by writing some comment, okay. So okay, so that I'll make it public, don't worry. Or what you can do, if the comment is disabled, what you can do is you can comment in the first Kubernetes video, this one. If the comment is disabled, fine, you can comment here, okay. This is public and this will be always public. So you can comment in day 22, that was the first Kubernetes session. Alright, fine. Anyway, so pod can access. So you got all the solution, right? Now let's talk about this assignment. So see, you have to create a 10 pods by the name of Adhoc 1 to Adhoc 10, and in the entry point of pod you have to write this ping edited. I think this is very easy. You just have to create 10 pods. How you are creating 10, by writing file or by command, then it doesn't matter. So it is very much easy. Okay, now the second dynamic web application. This question or the next question is very much dependent on the question number 1. So what you have to do is create a pod with the name of this, use Nginx Docker image, 80 port, node port service you have to create, web page, access the web page and take the screenshot of it. Okay, that's fine. Now what is the web page? So once you create this, you have to access this page, web page, and take a screenshot of it and save in your system. Now after that you have to access the page, you have to write a shell, Python or Go code in current running Nginx pod. The script that you write, it must connect to kubeAPI server. That means, in short, the pod is running and you are accessing the page. Now you have to go to that pod by child process like kubectl exec and write code in shell, Python or Go in the current pod. Then you have to write some command or script that can connect to kubeAPI version server and will list the running pod. So we have how many pods? 10 pod here and 1 itself. So 11 pod you will get it. So from the pod itself, now you have to run the command from the pod. Let's say you are in pod, get pods, and you will get the list of pod. Then you have to store the output of above command under this. So let's say you get the list, you have to store this under usr share nginx html index.html. Once you do that, refresh the page again. See, now reload the page again, take screenshot, the page will be different, take screenshot, and you need to upload your YML, all YML that you used in task 1 and task 2, and the screenshot as well in your GitHub account, and the repo name must be s love 2020 repo. Comment this in a GitHub YouTube video of the day 1 and in my LinkedIn account, so I'll make a post about it. Okay, so is this assignment is very much understood? The first one, I mean dynamic web app, just respond here in the chat window. Yeah, Harsh, it will be. So you have to think how you can do that. By default it's not connectable, definitely. Okay, so okay, it is understood. Now the second assignment is the same. See, till here you have to connect to kubeAPI server and you have to get the list, but here is a change. See, very much similar to the first one, but whatever output you are getting like this output you have to send in your email address here. I mean, so you have to write some code in the pod that is running, the 11th pod that is running here. You are free to use any of the pod name or any of the Docker image. So let's say here we are using Nginx, you can use anything here. So whatever you use, then even the Python image. So you have to write a code that will get a list of all this and will send all the information output. It will not store in a file, it will send to my email address. Okay, and where the subject name will be your name K8S Love 2020, so that I can check my email address. Yes, Rhythm, you have to send only once. You don't have to send it like every time. So you just have to send only once, one time. Okay, fine. So this is assignment PDF. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna upload this PDF in my current repo here. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna also git add dot git commit K8S task replication controller replica set volume started, and I'm pushing it to my GitHub account. Fine. So if you just type my username and go to this repo, so yes, so here we have volumes, RSRC, Pod Advanced, and these many things. Fine. And the PDF also. Where is the PDF? This is KTS session PDF. Okay, so it's entirely open. So time to say bye. So I hope you really enjoy the session, because today the session was very important. And thank you so much. Have fun. Bye bye, guys. Yes. So the exam time is from 4 to 7 p.m. and around 3:55 the exam link will be available in WhatsApp chat, in WhatsApp group. Okay, definitely then I'll do that. Okay, just the question, I don't create any video. I'll share the link of, because it will be the same as like we have in the first examination, so there is no point of making video again. So it's just a link. Okay, in your WhatsApp chat. Alright guys, so thank you so much, bye bye, and have fun. So I'm stopping this session now.